So Pink is in the news because she is pushing back on the book bans that are going on in Florida by arguing with people on Twitter, and now she is handing out thousands of banned books at her concerts.
She said, books have held a special joy from me from the time I was a child. That's why I'm unwilling to stand by and watch while books are banned by schools. She's specifically talking about the Florida school district and using this as an opportunity to start beef with Ron DeSantis. So at her tour, she's going to be giving out copies of The Family Book by Todd Parr, The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman, Beloved by Toni Morrison, and Girls Who Code. I
noticed no gender queer on there.
I don't know what these are about.
I'm so sick of this. Like, this is how you know these people are so stupid, is that DeSantis is only trying to ban porn from schools. That is it. So I would just like her to stand on stage then and open up one of these books that's like how to, perform oral sex and all this kind of stuff, where to find gay sex that they're having, that are in these kids' books, alleged kids' books. I'd love her to stand on stage and read that and be like, yeah, this is what should be in our schools. Number one. Two, I'm convinced that Pink is just salty because the only people who are still listening to her are in dentist offices. Nobody is listening to Pink anymore besides that. I hear her in the grocery. I hear her in a dentist office. Nowhere else.
So glad
this is my favorite. So here's the picture that NPR used of her. This is why Breitbart is hilarious. Here's the picture Breitbart used. And
wait, where is it?
Hold on. And there.
Oh, sweaty.
She just looks very, very upset right there.
So she got owned by the community notes on Twitter because she posted a fake list of books that are banned in Florida school district, including A Wrinkle in Time, Diary of Anne Frank, The Fault in Our Stars, things like this. I highly doubt
The Fault in Our Stars
those are on the list. And the community note says this list has been proven incorrect. These books are not banned in Florida. In fact, some are on Florida's required reading list.
The Diary of Anne Frank. Stop.
Yeah.
Also, you know what Justin Bieber says about Anne Frank? She was a believer.
She would have been a believer.
Yeah, would have been a believer.
I believe that.
I believe it. I believe it.
There is a list that's attached of from Pen America, an index of book bans that has like a list of schools where some of these books are banned, like by school district. But that's not necessarily, it's genderqueer is on here, and these other books that we all know were banned for very, very different reasons.
If you want to do a community service, go to your public library and take out all of these books that push gender propaganda and sexuality on kids, and also race propaganda, and just never return them.
Somebody else also posted so look at this one. I think you're confusing Florida with California. To Kill a Mockingbird, other books banned from California over racism concerns.
Okay, but do you guys not remember a couple years ago, it was the left who wanted to ban Dr. Seuss? It's not the right that has historically been behind book bans. It's been the left.
They also like to change. It's not banning necessarily. It's that they have changes made to the books, right? So is that somehow different if you get to change the heart of the work because you think that it doesn't meet your moral sensibilities?
Right.
But this is why they win, because they are always more fervent, right? So the right was mad about Dr. Seuss for like a month with the attention span of a child. They were mad. They complained, and then the left organizes and wins because of things like this. Because you have Pink pushing this idea out to gazillions of people. She does have tons of followers on Twitter, even if nobody listens to her unless they're in a dentist's office anymore, right? So yes, people got mad. They also got mad when they changed the language in James Bond books because there was descriptions of people's racial characteristics that they found to be offensive, and terms for racial groups that they found offensive because they were written back in the 60s.
Well, To Kill a Mockingbird obviously is written from a perspective that condemns the racism that it depicts, but simply because it has the N-word in it, or what's the other one? Huckleberry Finn.
They'll never. I don't know if they'll ever do this to movies. I just watched.
They do though.
They do
like
it.
on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They give disclaimers on movies
Like Peter Pan.
or even Aladdin
I'm
for
thinking
being
it's like,
culturally insensitive. Or Gone with the Wind is another one.
That's a Disney again. That's Disney. I was rewatching. I watched American Gangster the other day, and there's a character that has a very, very cruel term for a Jewish person that uses against the Richie Roberts character in that movie. And I was just thinking, because I was watching it on a streaming service, I said, it won't be long before that word is changed, even though in the movie it's used to make you realize that this guy who says it is an absolute piece of shit, right? He says it because he's a bad person.
It's more insidious because they'll go back and edit it without notifying anyone that they did that and just make everyone think that the original work never included that phrase.
Yeah.
They've
Yep.
been doing that for a while now.
The problem is like when they would do it with characters like that, it was designed to actually show you that this person is not a good person, which can actually change the context of the story later if they change it and suddenly the language is softened and this guy doesn't look as awful as he's meant to look when he used that slur. That was the point. But it's also, I wonder with these celebrities, I do ask the question, like how much of it is rabid political activism and how much of it is just being uninformed. I think the average person gives them the benefit of the doubt and says they're uninformed.
But if you're going to be outspoken on political
You have
issues,
not
be
known.
informed,
Yep.
Yep.
right?
You have to know.
They also signed that petition, that open letter about book bans. People like Ariana Grande and Gabrielle Union were on it.
Again,
They don't know what these letters say. They just tell their team to put their name on things that make them look good.
And like, you know, all the parents that are taking those books that are on the book ban list or whatever, they're reading them at the school board meetings and the school board is like, oh, you cannot be reading this. This is inappropriate. And they're like, then why are you allowing it in the school?
Yeah. There was also pictures that were posted of like Barnes and Nobles that say like banned books for sale. And somebody's like, how do you sell banned books?
Right, yeah.
Exactly. That
Just don't think that middle schoolers should be required to read erotica.
Well, they're not being.
in their
That's
schools.
the thing is, they're not saying they're like. Well, they're not required to read it, but it's in the libraries, right? That's.
I mean, I had
that's their logic.
extracurricular classes that required me to read books that were sexually explicit to the extreme when I was like 13 years old.
You had to.
Yeah, and not inside my schools because I went to conservative religious schools. But when I did anything extracurricular, if I took an extra class during the summer, that was in it.
Like what? Like what books?
Oh, I don't remember exactly, but they
They
were
just gave you Hustler magazines and
they,
were like, here,
they
read this?
just assigned these grad students or whomever to lead these classes, create required reading lists for us.
In the chat.
Most of the kids weren't doing the reading, but I did it, and I noticed that they were pushing sexuality onto us.
In the chat, Zach says Ron DeSantis should ban high heels.
Or maybe he can get the leg lengthening surgery.
He lost the short vote by wearing those by wearing the pumps. He lost the short vote.
But
I just
Brett, those were off the rack Lucchese's. If you didn't notice that, I don't know what to say.
he's sticking it to everyone who's complaining about his height. Do you think that this is another sign of proof that the conservatives don't realize how important these pop culture figures are because of the reach that even somebody who hasn't been as relevant as Pink lately can reach a lot of people?
Someone on Pink's team was like, you'll be relevant again if you do this political activism.
yeah, that's the thing. The when we talk about celebrities being misinformed about these political activist statements they make, I think they are being told this will be good for you, like good press for you, and they're giving them bad information.
Which is insane because decades ago it was generally understood that you kept these things private because it was naturally divisive and it was going to always shrink your audience. Right. Always. You were always better. What is the famous quote from Michael Jordan that I think has later been said that was misquoted? Said Republicans buy sneakers too.
He said that?
Yeah. I mean, I've been told several times that maybe that was misreported. But
that's why Taylor Swift's dad
it could be apocryphal, but I'm not sure.
Taylor Swift's dad in her documentary Miss Americana was telling her, like, if you become politically outspoken as a Democrat, encouraging your fans to vote Democrat, you're going to be alienating people in your audience that don't agree with you.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. The Rock was just on Rogan, and
We talked about that yesterday.
You did? About how he said, like, yeah, I don't know, nobody's voting for Joe. It's like they're just voting with the party. But yeah, I don't have any celebrity friends that like Joe Biden.
But he does have the celebrity friends that support Trump that don't have the balls to come out publicly and say so.
Yep.
It says Michael said Republicans buy sneakers too. So that is a quote. He was talking. He came back and
I don't know
spoke
what
on
you're
it
talking
again.
about. I wear wooden Dutch shoes. Just kidding.
I wear off the rack Lucchese's.
Perfect. That's exactly right. I don't know. The book ban thing is kind of a depressing topic because both sides are now starting to decry censorship. The right has been decrying censorship for quite a few years now, but this is a disingenuous attempt to talk about censorship as if they haven't been pro-censorship for years on that side of the aisle.
Yeah, they're always pro-censorship when for any other opinion. So it's just like ridiculous. They're trying to say conservatives want to censor everybody. Like that's historically just not true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Have you talked about celebrities making their statements about Israel and Palestine recently, or kind of stayed away from that?
What have I said? I don't think I have talked too much about it, about celebrities making statements, but I did think it was interesting that who's the IDF actress?
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, her whole thing, like she was gonna like make everybody watch a screening, like she was gonna grab a bunch of celebrities. No, she put together a screening of just like rapes and beheadings.
No, we like, and then
and
there
was gonna force celebrities to watch it.
and there was a mass brawl outside of the event.
Was there?
Yes. Yeah, there was.
I did not see that.
But she wasn't there.
She put together the screening,
And
but
then she
wasn't
was
at
like
the screening.
out. Now,
She's
see,
like-
that's a little cowardly.
She's like, I'm not going to watch that crap. Are you kidding me? But Phil made a good point. He's like, that's a very dangerous place at that time with the pro-Palestinian stuff going on.
That's true.
That it was a very dangerous place for a high security risk like hers, somebody with the high visibility to be in public with all of the attacks that were going on.
That's fair.
So yeah, I don't envy all the celebrities right now who are being forced to pretend like they have strong opinions on something they probably don't all have very, very strong opinions on.
They have strong opinions about wanting to be liked.
Well, and I think too, the Stranger Things kid, that actor,
Noah
he spoke
Schnapp.
out. Yeah, he spoke out in defense of Israel or whatever. It was pro-Israel.
He said
now,
Zionism is sexy.
yeah. That was interesting. I don't know that was just like weird.
It's just cringe.
It's so
It's cringe.
cringy. It's like what the hell is going on with society? That's it. Like who? Like, do you think the people making those stickers were like, ugh, I've seen it all now? Like what was the other one? It was Hamas is ISIS.
Yeah.
And it's like
Put that on your laptop and go to college classes.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.